Hollywood Live Extra with Tanya Hart.
Hey everybody, we're so glad you are back with us on Hollywood Live Extra. It's 2025 and yep, we are keeping it locked and loaded and ready and alive right here. My guest today is someone that you know you love. He is a comedian, he's an actor, he's been everything. He's been an advertising agent, but right now he's got a new TV show on. I'm talking about the inimitable George Wallace. Hey, George.
Hello. How are you, my dear friend? God bless you. It's so awesome to hear your voice.
It's awesome to be here and to be heard, considering what we've been through out here with all these fires. Were you here, by the way, or were you? Where are you these days?
Oh no, I'm on the East Coast. I'm in New York, where it's cold. It's just. Were you near the fires at all, Tanya?
Too close. We were ready to go, but we fortunately did not have to evacuate. Thank you to the incredible superheroes called firefighters out here.
Thank you, Jesus.
We hope to the same. So, George, you with all of the things that you've done, we've got to talk about your new show. You have got a new TV show coming out called Clean Slate, starring you and Laverne Cox. Tell me a little bit about it.
I wanted to reboot Sanford & Son. I own a car wash, my own business, just like from the movie The Wash. And I'm a stubborn man, but I'm making money. I'm a businessman in the community, working that car wash every day. I had a family, and to make it quickly, my son left home and went away for 23 years, and I hadn't heard from my son in that amount of time. And then I get an email that says, Dad, I'm coming home tomorrow. And sure enough, I'm telling the whole community how proud I am. My son is finally, the prodigal son, is finally coming back home. And the next day I get a ding dong, and I go to the door, and the most beautiful lady in the world is standing there. I didn't know whether she was selling a watchtower or Avon. Ding dong. And I said, hey, pretty lady. And the pretty lady says to me, Dad, it's me. Oh my goodness, there's been a change made. I'm shocked. I'm devastated. I'm out of it. I can't believe what I see. And I said, well, come on in. And we're dealing with a situation I had never thought I'd deal with or would have to deal with. And so we're making it happen. And then she's dealing with my way of life, and I'm learning about her way of life. And all it's about love, and I find out that I got to love my child no matter what. I got my next door neighbor who is a friend, Thelma Hopkins. Thelma Hopkins is teaching me how to deal with this. And then my daughter's going to go back to New York because we can't handle it. And then I'm learning that, you know what, that's my child. I got to love my child no matter what. As she's at the bus station, I stop the bus and ask her to come back home and let's give it a second try. And sure enough, we try to live together, and we're learning and living and listening and laughing together. So we're dealing with a situation that happens in life now that we can all be educated and learn and let live. Let people be who they want to be and love their life just as I'm loving my life.
Wow, this is first of all, it's very forward thinking. It's certainly it's what's happening in the world today and in our times. And Thelma Hopkins, oh my gosh, I did not realize she's in this show. You all got that, you get that A-list cast, so, you know, and then of course Laverne Cox is totally amazing. I mean, just amazing.
We hooked up with the great Norma Lear to help us produce the show. So we got great executive producers and great friends that we're dealing with. And Thelma Hopkins is my Aunt Esther, so we're fighting all the time. And that's really, really, besides me and Laverne going back and forth, I got her to deal with. So it's amazing. And she does a great job of putting me in my place, and we fight all the time. But you got to watch the series, Clean Slate, premiering on Prime Video.
Prime, yeah, Prime Video. 6. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, you know, it's so funny because George, you have, I often tell people, I said, you know, George Wallace is the one who created all of these residencies that we now hear and see in Las Vegas. You really started that. I think we came to your first show when you decided to go to Vegas and four-wall a building and set yourself up to do this.
I tell you, people don't realize what four-walling is. I'm the only black man that ever gone to Las Vegas and actually owned the show. I didn't work for the hotels. I own everything. the marketing, the advertising, the concierge visits, the baby butt kissing, whatever I had to do to make that show work. I went there. You were there at the beginning for 30 days. I was only going to be there for 30 days. That turned into 60 days, 90 days. 15 years now. 15 years.
Wow. Wow. I couldn't remember how long it's because I think we were at the very first show when you first opened up. And then we sent a lot
now
of people.
They go to a residency. They're only there 3 days a week, but every other month, 3 days a week. You got to stop over. You work like an airline host. Flight attendant. That's not a. When you vote there and you live there, that's a residency. But that's what they call it. And you know what? They're doing fine. I'm happy with it. I love what they do, and they're making more money than I did. I made a lot of money, but they're making much.
Yeah, it's kind of like being in the NBA or the NFL from back in the day compared to now. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
You done well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done well. You have been making people laugh since you were 6 years old. That's when you knew you wanted to be a comedian. What was it that made you decide at age 6? And you had a whole other life for a long time before that. What was it at age 6 that made you think, this might work?
At age 6, I had to go to church every day. Every day. And I was used to do things in the church like the doors of the church are open. And my butt would turn around and go, those doors not open. So that's when I started coming, and then everything the preacher would do, I'd come home and mock the preacher. My mama said, shut up, boy. And I said, Mom, you know that man told a lie. And she hit me in the upside the head. Don't you say it anymore, boy. And then I would take the party records that they would listen to, Red Foxx, Just Be Meet Markham, Mom's Mabley. I would take those jokes back to school and tell those jokes, and the kids would laugh. And so anytime you got happy people, that's a good life. That's a blessing to make people happy. That's more than a doctor. That's medicine. That's what a prescription laughter is. Laughter is healing for the soul.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing in Clean Slate.
Yeah, I know. I cannot wait for this. I really cannot, just because I want to see you, of course. But no, you're absolutely right. You went on, though, to have a whole other career in advertising, went to college and did great stuff. But the whole thing about comedy really stuck with you. People may not know today, we don't always know our history today, but you really started on the Red Foxx show as a writer. And for anybody who's listening, go look up Red Foxx, because you need to know who he is. But tell us about that experience.
Red Foxx, I was doing comedy for about 5 months in Los Angeles, and the scholars were out, and they came to me and they said, we'd like for you to write on the Red Foxx show. This was not Sanford & Son. This was the show that he did immediately after Sanford & Son, and I had just started kind of less than a year. We would like for you to write for us. I go, I don't know how to do that. I can't do that. They said, we've been watching you for the past 3 weeks. We think you can do it. I said, I apologize. I don't think I can do it. And they said, well, it's $2,500 a week. I said, oh, we can come up with something. We're going to come up with something, yeah. So I started writing, and it was a lot of fun. And I always wanted to be like Red Foxx, knowing him growing up. All comedians at our age loved and respected Red Foxx. We thought he was dirty at the time. Hey, but not.
Yeah, honey, didn't we? Huh?
Cuss, yes. Ooh. But it's been a lot of fun. But this being associated with Red Foxx and now playing a character similar to his, a character similar to his is just wonderful, and I love it.
I was going to say it's really like a full circle moment for you. I've got to ask you, though, this obviously the show has been put together. You guys got, you're coming on the air. All of a sudden we have a new regime, in America.
I've been a Christian. We've been going to church together for 40 years. Now we got a new regime, and I'm starting to cuss now. I'm starting to cuss. This walk a flock. That's my cuss word, Tanya, walk a flock.
Well, with the new regime, they have decided that there's only going to be 2 genders, male and female, and they're doing a lot of things to undo a lot of the progress that we have made in terms of gender identity and people allowing people to love whoever they feel that they need to love. And being a Christian, I'm sure that you've been dealing with this all of your life. But how do you think the show is going to fare in this new environment?
I think it's going to fare just like All in the Family did and the Jeffersons. Everything was a little provocative, a little controversial at that time. But I think people are going to realize that, you know what, this is real life here. This is old. This is something we got to deal with. This is something we got to learn to love and just be educated and letting people be who they want to be. Because this regime is in it, I hope it's only another 4 years, but maybe people learn more about loving because right now with the non-love that's coming from this administration, no matter what, we got to go back to love. We got to deal with loving each other, no matter what.
Yeah.
Great.
You're right.
Love and happiness is so we're going to live, laugh, learn, and love.
I agree. And I think you're right. It's very interesting because this show, and who knew that this was going to be like this, but it is coming out just like All in the Family and all of those shows. At that point, it was civil rights. We're still talking about civil rights. That's exactly what this is. And it's controversial. So I agree with you. I think it's going to do really surprisingly well because people want to know and they want to be able to understand. And yes, there are a lot of people that want to be educated about this. So good for you, George. Good for you. And good for Laverne, too.
Especially for her. Let me tell you something. I grew up as a black kid down in Georgia. So the most important thing to me is discriminatory practices. For me, I put that up there with murder. I don't like anybody being discriminated, being who they want to be, doing what they want to do. If you're happy, I'm going to be happy. That's what I love about life. Come on. What do they say? Come on, everybody, let's get happy.
I love it. Well, you've made us happy for so many years, and obviously you're still continuing. Do you have time to do, are you going to be doing any more shows in Vegas while this is going on, or where can we see you these days, other than on this new hit, what's going to be, I'm calling it already, a hit TV show on Prime?
Thank you so much. I'm going to be all over the country, no matter where you are. I'm coming back to Los Angeles, and maybe I might do Christmas at the Cathedral again. You know, I'm known for doing that Christmas at the Cathedral, Los Angeles.
Yes,
fun there.
yes.
I will be back. I have no choice but to come back to Los Angeles. I do the club there. That's where we work out the new jokes at the Laugh Factory and places like that, and Comedy Store, and we just have a lot of fun. So I will be coming back to Las Vegas, and I hope to see you at church.
I was going to say, for everybody who doesn't know, George and I have been going to the same church, West Angeles Cathedral, for, good Lord, it's like 30 years already. For me, anyway.
I was at the first church, let alone the old church, the first church and the new church. Our second church, where we started, that was the most beautiful church, and now we have the cathedral. We did pretty good, didn't we, Jen?
We did very, very well, yes. And everybody who comes to Los Angeles needs to come and see George and the West Angeles Cathedral, because you can see him and he does show up. I know you show up. And he usually stands up, too, when the preacher asks him to. So, George, we love you. Just so happy for you. I cannot wait for the show, everybody. Check out Clean Slate. It starts, I think, February, 2nd or 7th?
February 6th, all over the world, 240 countries, Tanya, and 240 countries and territories, translated into every language. So this is going to be major.
Well, I will definitely be watching. We'll have you back on when the series ends, because I know it'll be picked up again for a season 2. But in the meantime, you stay safe, stay funny, and we love you very, very much, George Wallace.
And I'm George Wallace. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. See ya.
Thanks so much, and to everybody else out there. We're so glad we're back for 2025. We're going to have a lot of great stuff for you. So just remember, take care of yourself and someone else. Love you.
Hollywood Live Extra, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.